Welcome to KBTV News this morning, where we have some breaking news for you. It's been discovered through research that people have a completely wrong perception of what nannying really is. These are some examples of what people, due to social media, think what a nannying job is.
Stop fighting.
Get off me!
Immediately.
Very high up in the wall.
A drop of golden sun, a name I call myself.
After going undercover myself, I've learned that a real nannying job is more of, why do these kids have to eat so much? There's so many dishes. I hate Common Core math. I don't even know what to do. If I seriously have to fold another shirt, I'm making these kids go clothes lifts. I don't know how many more crafts I can make with these kids. And seriously, I feel like I'm just herding kids around all day, picking them up off the bus, playing with them, making sure they're doing their homework. It's not all it's cracked up to be. But I did, however, learn through this experience some really strong interpersonal communication skills that I want to share with you today with the help of my weather girl and traffic girl. So first, a self-concept construction site, that is. Self-concept is how you feel about yourself based on what others think of you or what you think others think of you. It's similar to self-image, but more kind of deep about how you really feel about yourself. But it's really, really critical to build a positive self-concept while you're in the home and while people are young. It's literally a constant construction site, your self-concept is. If you do not have a foundation of a strong self-concept before you become an adult, you're gonna literally crumble. I have a roommate who is really unsure of herself, and she's like literally crumbling. She's having a really hard time making friends, not doing very well in her classes. So while I was nannying through this experience, I tried really, really hard to make sure that I was an ego booster and not an ego buster. Ego boosting is when you are being really encouraging and positive towards people. You're complimenting them and really just accepting them for who they are and not trying to force them to be something they're not. Ego boosting is where you'd put up a roadblock. It's hindering someone's progress in developing self-concept. So especially while I was in the home, I made sure to encourage the kids I was working with and do my best to let them know that they were important and that they were good. So it's crucial to have self-concept as a foundation for successful communication skills, and especially as kids grow older and into adulthood. So back to you at the front desk, KB. That's some really interesting concepts. Don't you think self-concept really should be started with a strong foundation in the home, practiced while kids are young, so that when they're adults and in college like us, they can be successful and know how to communicate with others. So next we're going to go over to our weather girl, who will talk a little bit about self-disclosure. Welcome to today's nanny forecast. One thing I can tell you for sure is that it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Lots of people, I learned through my experience of nannying, are afraid of self-disclosure because of the risks. Risks are kind of scary and can lead to a downpour, which is really scary. I mean, downfall. People use alternatives such as lying or silence to avoid using self-disclosure because they're afraid of losing friendships. I learned that I was really apprehensive about sharing my own personal experiences and feelings, but I really wanted the people that I was nannying for to share their things with me. So I learned that self-disclosure is definitely a two-way street. And even though there are risks, there's a lot of benefits. You're able to increase your social influence and strengthen relationships and friendships. So after all of that, I just have learned that self-disclosure is a really easy way to get to know people, but just be aware that there's always rain before the rainbow. Back to you, KB. Thank you so much. So as you can see, it's so important for us to work on self-concept, being an ego booster, not an ego buster, and working on our self-disclosure at home, in the home and with kids especially. When they're learning this at home, while they're young, they'll be able to learn it easier, but also they'll know when it's appropriate to share their personal information, when it's not, and how they can get friendships and closer relationships through some of those self-disclosure and self-concept ways. So thanks for listening in on our breaking news today. Have a great day. Tune back into KBTV tomorrow for